My name is Mary Sullivan. I'm 16. Last Christmas Eve at 10:47 p.m., I was shivering in my thin sweater in -12 degrees Celsius snow, locked outside my own house because I told my stepmother I was the one who cooked all the food. Inside, my family sat around the dining table I'd set that morning. The Christmas tree glowed warm and gold through the frosted window, the tree I'd decorated alone while they went shopping. My father carved the prime rib. My stepmother poured wine into crystal glasses. My stepsister opened a velvet jewelry box, and I watched my mother's sapphire necklace, the one I'd seen in photos of her wearing at her own wedding, clasp around someone else's throat. I thought that was the worst moment of my life. I was wrong. Because right when I couldn't feel my fingers anymore, a sleek black Mercedes-Benz pulled into our driveway, and the woman who stepped out in a camel wool coat and leather boots was someone my father had spent 8 years convincing me had disowned the family and wanted nothing to do with me. But here's what he didn't know. She didn't come alone. And after that night, he would never again cash a check with my name on it. Before I go on, if stories about finding your voice mean something to you, please hit like and subscribe and tell me in the comments where are you watching from right now and what time is it there. Now, let me take you back 8 years to the day my mother died and the day my father started erasing me from my own life. I'm 8 years old. The sky is steel gray, the kind of gray that swallows sound. My mother's casket is covered in white roses. I know because my grandmother told me. Your mama loved white roses, she whispered, kneeling beside me at the viewing, her hand warm on my shoulder. She planted a whole garden of them the year you were born. My grandmother's name is Catherine Sullivan. She smells like vanilla and lavender. At the funeral home, she's the only person who's hugged me. My father stands across the room, arms crossed, face carved from stone. He hasn't cried once. Not when the hospital called. Not during the viewing. Not now. After the service, after the last mourner leaves, Catherine kneels in front of me in the empty parking lot. Her eyes are red-rimmed but steady. She takes both my hands and says 7 words I will remember for 8 years without understanding them. I will never stop fighting for you. Then my father's voice cuts between us. You need to leave, Catherine. Gregory, she's my granddaughter. Your daughter is dead because she was driving to your house when it happened. You're not welcome here anymore. I don't understand what he means. My mother died when a truck ran a red light. Nobody was driving anywhere wrong. But I'm 8 years old and my father is the loudest person in the room. And when he speaks, people listen. Catherine looks at me over his shoulder. Her lips move silently. I love you. Then she walks to her car, a Mercedes I'll remember because of how different it looks from everything else in our town. I watch it disappear around the corner. Within 2 weeks, we move. New town. New address. My father changes our phone number. He throws out my mother's address book, her photo albums, her jewelry box. It's just us now, he says at dinner in our new rental house. That's all we need. I believe him. I have no reason not to. Not yet. 6 months pass. I'm 9 now. My father brings home Patricia Morris on a Saturday afternoon. She has auburn hair, a smile that shows too many teeth, and a daughter named Jessica who is 2 years older than me. This is going to be wonderful, Patricia says, squeezing my shoulders as she walks through our front door for the first time. Her nails are gel manicured. They dig in just slightly. Within 3 days, Jessica moves into my bedroom, the one upstairs with the window seat where my mother used to read to me. I'm moved to the converted storage room in the basement. There's a twin bed, a lamp with a crooked shade, and a water stain on the ceiling that looks like a handprint. Jessica needs natural light for her health, Patricia explains, not looking at me. You understand, don't you, sweetheart? Jessica doesn't have a health condition. She has a soccer trophy case and an Instagram account where she posts selfies in good lighting. I learn the new rules fast. I cook breakfast before school. I clean the kitchen after dinner. I do laundry on Sundays and Wednesdays. Jessica picks movies. Jessica picks restaurants. Jessica gets new clothes for school while I get her hand-me-downs that don't quite fit. And when we go out to eat, which isn't often, I sit at the end of the table, furthest from the conversation. My father doesn't notice. Or maybe he does, and he just doesn't say anything. Either way, the result is the same. I learn to be small. I learn to be quiet. I learn that if I make myself invisible enough, maybe the sharp edges of this new family won't cut me. But invisibility has a price. And I'm about to spend 8 years paying it. I'm 8 years old when the police officer comes to my third-grade classroom and asks if I can come to the principal's office. Mrs. Henderson's face tells me everything before anyone says a word. She puts her hand on my shoulder and I know my mother is dead. They don't tell me how until later. Car accident. Intersection of Route 9 and Pemberton. Truck ran a red light. She died on impact. They say it like that's supposed to make it better, like knowing she didn't suffer makes up for the fact that she's gone. My father picks me up from school. He doesn't cry in the car. He doesn't cry at the hospital when we have to identify her belongings. He doesn't cry when my grandmother Catherine shows up in the hospital parking lot, her face streaked with tears, reaching for me. Gregory, I just heard, oh God, my baby girl. He steps between us. Not now, Catherine. She was my daughter. And she's gone. We'll discuss arrangements later. But we don't discuss anything. My father makes every decision alone. The funeral home. The casket. The service. When Catherine tries to help plan, he tells her she's making it about control. When she offers to pay for the burial plot, he accuses her of making it about money. I don't understand why they're fighting. I just want my mother back. What I don't see, what I won't know about until years later, is what happens at the hospital 3 hours after my mother dies. A lawyer arrives. Not for the accident. For the will. My mother updated it 6 months ago, the lawyer explains in a private room with my father and Catherine present. I'm in the children's waiting area, coloring a picture I'll never finish. The lawyer opens a folder. My father sits forward. Catherine sits very still. Caroline left her entire estate in trust for her daughter, Mary Sullivan, the lawyer reads. The trust is to be managed by Catherine Sullivan as trustee until Mary turns 25. Gregory Sullivan is named as Mary's guardian but has no access to trust funds except for approved expenses submitted through the trustee. My father's face goes white, then red. What? Your wife established the trust to ensure Mary's financial security, the lawyer continues. Mrs. Catherine Sullivan will manage all investments, education funds, and major expenses. You'll need to submit receipts for reimbursement. I'm her father. Yes. And you'll continue to have full custody and parental rights. But the financial assets are protected for Mary's future. Catherine says nothing. She just nods once. My father stands up so fast his chair tips backward. This is your doing. You convinced her I couldn't be trusted. Gregory, Caroline made her own choices. Get out. 2 days later, at the funeral, my grandmother kneels in front of me and promises she'll never stop fighting for me. My father tells her she's not welcome anymore. I watch her Mercedes disappear. I don't know, she's just lost the first battle in an 8-year war. 6 months after my mother's funeral, my father brings home Patricia Morris and her daughter Jessica. They arrive on a Saturday with 3 suitcases and a smile that doesn't reach Patricia's eyes when she looks at me. You must be Mary, she says, bending down even though I'm not that small. I've heard so much about you. I haven't heard anything about her. Jessica is 10, 2 years older than me, with straight blonde hair and the kind of confidence that comes from always being the center of attention. She walks through our house like she's cataloging what she'll change. When she gets to my bedroom, the one upstairs with the window seat where my mother used to read to me, she stops. I want this room, she tells her mother. Patricia doesn't hesitate. Gregory, would that be all right? Jessica has terrible allergies, and basements are so much better for that. Fewer dust mites. My father looks at me for exactly 2 seconds. Then he nods. Mary doesn't mind. Do you, Mary? I'm 8 years old. I don't know I'm allowed to mind. It's temporary, Patricia says, guiding me down the basement stairs that afternoon while Jessica unpacks in my room above. Just until we figure out the best arrangement for everyone. The basement isn't finished. There's concrete floor, exposed pipes, and a small storage room that Patricia has turned into what she calls a cozy space. There's a twin bed with a thin mattress, a lamp on an upturned plastic crate, and one small window near the ceiling that shows the bottom 2 feet of our backyard. See? You have your own private area, Patricia says brightly. Like a little apartment. It's not an apartment. It's a storage room with a bed in it. That night, I hear Jessica's footsteps above me. I hear her laughing on the phone. I hear my father's voice saying goodnight to her, the way he used to say goodnight to me. 1 week becomes 1 month. 1 month becomes 6. Patricia and my father get married at City Hall. No ceremony. No guests. Just a piece of paper that makes her Mary's stepmother and Jessica my stepsister on legal documents. The temporary arrangement never changes. I learn the rhythms of my new life. I wake up at 6 to make breakfast. I set the table. I pack Jessica's lunch and my own. I do the dishes while they eat upstairs in the dining room. I eat standing at the kitchen counter because by the time I'm done cleaning, they've moved to the living room. I do laundry on Sundays. I fold Jessica's clothes and put them on her bed, my old bed. I clean the bathroom we share, though she's the only one who uses the shower up there. I use the utility sink in the basement. Years pass. I'm 10. Then 12. Then 14. Patricia stops saying temporary. She stops saying anything to me that isn't an instruction. And my father stops looking at me at all. I wake up at 6 every morning. Not because I set an alarm. Because my body knows that if breakfast isn't ready by 6:45, Patricia will come down the basement stairs with that tight smile and say, "I guess we're all running late today, aren't we, Mary?" I make scrambled eggs the way Jessica likes them, with cheese. I make toast the way my father likes it, barely golden. I make coffee the way Patricia likes it, 2 sugars and cream that gets measured exactly. I set 3 places at the table with folded napkins and the good plates. Then I wait in the kitchen while they eat. I hear their voices through the doorway. Jessica talking about soccer practice. Patricia asking about a project at my father's work. My father's low rumble of approval when Jessica shows him a test score. When their chairs scrape back, I clear the table. I wash the dishes. I wipe down the counters. I pack Jessica's lunch in the insulated bag with the monogram. Then I eat. Standing up. Usually toast and whatever eggs are left in the pan, cold now and rubbery. At school, I'm the quiet girl in the back row. Teachers call on me when they need the right answer but never for discussion. I eat lunch in the library. I do homework during free periods so I can do chores when I get home. I'm not bullied. I'm not befriended. I'm just not noticed. Which is exactly what I've learned to be at home. After school, I have 2 hours before dinner. I do laundry. I vacuum. I clean the bathroom Jessica uses upstairs and the utility sink I use downstairs. I dust the living room. I organize the mail and place it on my father's desk. At 5:30, I start dinner. Chicken and rice. Spaghetti and meatballs. Pot roast on Sundays. I know what everyone likes. I know Jessica won't eat vegetables unless they're hidden in sauce. I know my father hates when food touches on his plate. I know Patricia prefers white wine with fish and red wine with beef. They eat at 6:30. I serve. I refill glasses. I bring out dessert if there is any. I eat at 7:15, after the dishes are done. One night when I'm 13, I make the mistake of sitting down at the table before my father has finished. I'm tired. My feet hurt. I just want to sit for a minute. What are you doing? Patricia's voice is sharp. I was just. We're not finished. My father doesn't look up from his plate. Children should be seen and not heard, Mary. I stand up. Sorry. He finally looks at me. His eyes are cold. Actually, you shouldn't be seen either. Jessica laughs into her napkin. I go back to the kitchen. I stand at the counter. I wait. That becomes the rule. The unspoken, always enforced rule. Be useful. Be invisible. Be silent. I master all three. At night, I lie in my basement bed and count the pipes on the ceiling. I try to remember my mother's voice. I try to remember what it felt like when someone touched me with kindness. Most nights, I can't. I'm 15 when I find the shoebox. It's 3 weeks before Christmas, and Patricia sends me to the attic to bring down the decorations. The boxes are labeled, she says without looking up from her phone. Don't take all day. The attic is cold and smells like insulation and old wood. I find the Christmas boxes easily, 4 of them, labeled in my father's careful block letters. I'm pulling down the third one when I knock over a stack of magazines and something falls behind the old dresser my mother used to have in the guest room. I squeeze behind it. It's a shoebox. Nike. Size 10. My father's size. I should just put it back. I should mind my own business. But my mother's name is written on the top in faded ink, Caroline's correspondence. I open it. Inside are envelopes. Dozens of them. All addressed to me in the same elegant handwriting. The return address says Catherine Sullivan with an address in Harbor Point, 2 hours away. My hands shake as I pick up the first one. It's postmarked 8 years ago, 2 months after my mother's funeral. The envelope has been opened carefully, then resealed with tape. I pull out the card. It has a watercolor butterfly on the front. My dearest Mary, I think of you every single day. I hope your father is taking good care of you. I wanted you to know that I tried to call, but the number has been disconnected. I'm sending this to your old address in hopes it reaches you. You are so loved, little star. Happy 9th birthday. With all my heart, Grandma Catherine. My throat closes. I grab another envelope. Birthday card. I open another. Christmas card. Another. Thinking of you. Another. Happy Easter. There are 47 envelopes in this box. Every single one has been opened. I read them all. Sitting on the dusty attic floor, I read 8 years of birthday wishes and Christmas greetings and updates about my grandmother's life. She tells me about the garden she planted. The book club she joined. The scholarship fund she set up in my mother's name. She tells me she misses me. She tells me she's sorry. She tells me she loves me. In every single card, she includes her phone number and address. Please write back, sweetheart. Or call. Anytime. Day or night. On the back of each envelope, in my father's handwriting, are 2 words, return to sender. But none of them were returned. They're all here. He read them. He kept them. He made sure I never saw them. The last card is dated 6 months ago. My 15th birthday. Mary, I haven't heard from you in so long. I hope you're well. I hope you're happy. I hope you know that I have never stopped thinking of you. Your mother would be so proud of the person you're becoming. I love you more than words can say. Always, Grandma Catherine. I sit there for a long time, cards spread around me like evidence of a crime I didn't know was being committed. Then I hear Patricia's voice from the bottom of the attic stairs. Mary? What's taking so long? I shove the cards back in the box. I hide it behind the dresser. I grab the Christmas decorations and climb down. But everything has changed. My grandmother didn't abandon me. My father lied. 2 weeks after finding the cards, I need stamps. Patricia wants me to mail Christmas cards to her family, and the stamps are kept in my father's office because he doesn't trust anyone else not to waste them. His office is off limits. It always has been. But it's a Tuesday afternoon, he's at work, Patricia is at book club, and Jessica is at soccer practice. The house is empty except for me. I knock on the closed door out of habit. No answer. I turn the handle. The office smells like leather and the cologne my father wears to church. Everything is organized. Pens in a holder. Files in labeled folders. A framed photo of him and Patricia on their wedding day. No photos of me. No photos of my mother. I find the stamps in the top desk drawer. I'm about to leave when I see the folder labeled banking personal. I should walk away. I know I should. I open it instead. Inside are bank statements. Years of them, organized by date. I flip to the most recent one, dated last month. I scan the deposits. His salary comes in twice a month. There's a small dividend payment. And then, on the 15th of every month, there's another deposit. C. Sullivan, Mary's Care, $2,000. I stare at it. C. Sullivan. Catherine Sullivan. My grandmother. I flip back 1 month. There it is again. Same amount. Same description. I go back further. 6 months. 1 year. 2 years. Every single month. $2,000. Deposited like clockwork on the 15th. My hands are shaking now. I pull out older statements, the ones filed in the back of the folder. I find the one from 8 years ago, 3 months after my mother died. C. Sullivan, Mary's Care, $2,000. I do the math in my head. 8 years. 12 months each. $2,000 per month. $192,000. Money sent for my care. For my clothes. For my school supplies. For my food. For my life. I'm wearing jeans from Goodwill with a hole in the knee. My sneakers are from the clearance rack at Walmart, 2 sizes too big so they'll last longer. I eat breakfast standing up and dinner after everyone else finishes. I sleep in a basement storage room. Last month, my father bought a new truck. I heard him and Patricia talking about it at dinner. You deserve it, she'd said, kissing his cheek. You work so hard to provide for this family. I look at the statement again. The deposit. The date. The description. Mary's Care. I think about the cards in the attic. All those letters my grandmother sent. All those times she said she was thinking of me, missing me, loving me. She wasn't just sending words. She was sending money. Every month. For 8 years. And my father took it. All of it. Every cent. I hear a car door slam outside. Patricia's home early. I shove the statements back in the folder, close the drawer, grab the stamps. I'm out of the office before she opens the front door. But I can't unsee what I saw. My grandmother has been fighting for me all along. And my father has been cashing the checks. Christmas Eve arrives cold and clear. I spend the morning cooking. Prime rib that cost more than my entire winter wardrobe. Roasted potatoes with rosemary. Glazed carrots. Green beans with almonds. Dinner rolls from scratch because Patricia says the store-bought ones taste like plastic. I set the table with the good china, the crystal glasses, the cloth napkins folded into triangles the way Patricia showed me last year. I polish the silverware until it shines. I arrange a centerpiece with pine cones and candles. At 6 o'clock, they come to the table. My father in a button-down shirt. Patricia in a red dress with her hair curled. Jessica in a green sweater that probably cost what my grandmother sends in a week. This looks beautiful, Mary, Patricia says, but she's looking at the centerpiece, not at me. I serve the food. I pour the wine. I fill the water glasses. Can I open presents now? Jessica asks before anyone has taken a bite. Just the small ones, Patricia laughs, pulling 3 wrapped boxes from under her chair. I couldn't wait. Jessica tears into them. A charm bracelet. A gift card to Sephora. Concert tickets. These are perfect. Thank you. She hugs Patricia, then my father. Patricia reaches under her chair again and pulls out a small envelope. This one's for you, Mary. I take it. Inside is a gift card to Savamart grocery store. $25. I thought you could pick up some things you like, Patricia says, cutting into her prime rib. You know, snacks for your room. Jessica giggles into her napkin. My father doesn't look at me. He never does anymore. I should say thank you. I should smile. I should be grateful for the $25 to a discount grocery store while Jessica got concert tickets. But I'm thinking about the bank statements. The $2,000 that came in 2 weeks ago. The $192,000 that's come in over 8 years. Patricia takes a sip of wine. Now that you're older, Mary, it's good for you to start contributing to your own food costs. Maybe this will help you understand budgeting. Something inside me snaps. I cook all the food. The table goes silent. Patricia's smile freezes. Excuse me? I cook all the food, I repeat, quieter now but steady. Every meal. For 8 years. I cook it. I buy it when you give me the grocery money. I plan the menus. I do all of it. My father's fork clatters against his plate. His face goes from normal to red in seconds. Mary. His voice is ice. I just meant. Outside. Dad, Now. He stands up, walks to the front door, opens it. Cold air rushes in. Snow is falling in the glow of the porch light. Stay out there until you learn respect. His voice is controlled, quiet, which somehow makes it worse. Learn your place. I walk to the door. I'm wearing a thin sweater. No coat. No shoes, just socks. Dad, please. He closes the door in my face. I hear the lock click. The concrete step is ice against my legs. Snow falls in thick, lazy flakes that land on my shoulders and melt into my sweater. My socks are soaked through in seconds. I can see everything through the front window. My father sits back down at the table. He picks up his fork. He cuts into his prime rib like nothing happened. Like his daughter isn't standing outside in -12 degrees Celsius in December with no coat. Patricia refills his wine glass. She says something I can't hear, and he nods. Jessica laughs. They're celebrating. I wrap my arms around myself. My teeth start to chatter. I try the door handle one more time even though I heard the lock click. It doesn't turn. My phone is inside, charging on my bed in the basement. My coat is hanging in the front closet, 6 feet from where I'm standing. My shoes are by the door in the mudroom. I knock on the window. Softly at first, then harder. Jessica looks up. She sees me. Our eyes meet through the glass. She waves with her fingertips. Then she reaches over and pulls the curtain shut. I sit down on the step because my legs won't hold me anymore. The cold seeps through my jeans, through my skin, into my bones. My fingers are going numb. I tuck them under my arms but it doesn't help much. Through the gap in the curtain, I can still see slices of the dining room. Patricia brings out champagne. Actual champagne in flutes with long stems. She pours 3 glasses. They toast to something. Christmas, probably. Family. I watch my father smile. It's the smile he used to give my mother. The one I haven't seen directed at me since I was 8 years old. Jessica disappears from view, then comes back carrying something. A wrapped box, medium-sized, with a silver bow. The big present. I can read Patricia's lips through the window. Jessica tears the paper. Opens the box. Pulls out something that catches the light. A necklace. Even from outside, even through the window and the falling snow, I recognize it. Sapphire pendant on a silver chain. My mother wore it in every nice photo we have of her. She wore it to my third-grade piano recital. She wore it the last time I saw her alive. My grandmother Catherine mentioned it in one of the cards I found. Your mother's sapphire was her most treasured piece. She wanted you to have it someday. Patricia clasps it around Jessica's neck. Jessica poses, tilting her chin up so the pendant catches the chandelier light. Patricia claps. My father nods approval. My mother's necklace on someone else's throat. I put my face in my hands. My breath makes small clouds in the freezing air. I can't feel my toes anymore. My ears are burning with cold. I don't know how long I'm supposed to stay out here. An hour? All night? Until I apologize? I watch them through the window. Laughing. Eating dessert now, the chocolate cake I baked yesterday. Drinking coffee from the pot I set to brew. Living in the warmth I created for them. Then I see headlights. A black Mercedes-Benz pulls into the driveway, slow and deliberate, like it's been here before and knows exactly where it belongs. I stand up. My legs barely work. I'm shaking so hard I have to grab the porch railing. The driver's door opens and a woman steps out. She's wearing a camel wool coat that probably costs more than everything in our house combined. Leather boots. A silk scarf. Her hair is silver gray, cut in a sharp bob. She sees me and stops moving. Mary? I know that voice. I know it from somewhere deep in my memory, from before the basement, before Patricia, before everything got cold. Grandma? Her hand goes to her mouth. She's across the yard in seconds, moving faster than someone her age should be able to move. Oh my God. Oh my God, you're freezing. She shrugs out of her coat and wraps it around my shoulders. It's still warm from her body. It smells like lavender and vanilla, exactly like I remember from 8 years ago. What are you doing out here? Where's your father? I can't speak. My jaw is shaking too hard. The passenger door of the Mercedes opens. A police officer steps out. Tall, broad-shouldered, in full uniform. Behind him, a woman in a dark suit carrying a leather briefcase. The front door flies open. My father stands in the doorway, backlit by the warm glow of the house. His face goes from confused to angry to something close to fear in the space of 3 seconds. Catherine. What the hell are you doing here? What am I? My grandmother's voice is shaking, but not from cold. From rage. Gregory, your daughter is barefoot in the snow. In December. With no coat. This is a family matter. You need to leave. I'm her family. You have no right. I have every right. Catherine turns to the woman with the briefcase. Show him. The woman steps forward, flipping open the briefcase with crisp efficiency. She pulls out a document in a blue folder and hands it to my father. Mr. Sullivan, my name is Jennifer Kwan. I'm an attorney with Hartwell and Associates. This is an emergency custody order granted this morning by Judge Patricia Hendricks of Family Court. Mrs. Catherine Sullivan is now the legal guardian of Mary Sullivan, effective immediately. My father's face goes white. That's impossible. I'm her father. You're also someone who's been misappropriating funds intended for a minor's care. The lawyer pulls out another stack of papers. Mrs. Sullivan has been sending $2,000 monthly for 8 years under a care agreement established in her daughter's will. The funds were to be used exclusively for Mary's welfare, clothing, education, medical care, extracurricular activities. She hands him another document. These are your bank statements, obtained through legal discovery. Every deposit is documented. We'd like you to provide receipts showing how that money, $192,000, was spent on Mary's care. My father's hand holding the paper starts to shake. Patricia appears in the doorway behind him. Gregory? What's going on? The police officer steps forward. Ma'am, I'm Officer Rodriguez. I'm here to ensure this custody transfer happens peacefully. He looks at my father. Mr. Sullivan, I'm going to need you to step back from the doorway. This is my house. Actually, Catherine says, and her voice has gone cold, according to the deed filed in 2019, this house was purchased with funds from my daughter's life insurance policy funds that were supposed to be held in trust for Mary. That makes this transaction potentially fraudulent. The lawyer pulls out yet another document. We'll be filing a full audit request. In the meantime, Mr. Sullivan, you have two options. You can cooperate with this custody transfer, or we can involve Child Protective Services and law enforcement in a full investigation of financial exploitation and child endangerment. Jessica appears behind Patricia now. Her hand goes to the necklace at her throat, my mother's necklace. Child endangerment, my father repeats. She talked back at dinner. I was teaching her respect. You locked a 16-year-old outside in sub-zero temperatures with no coat or shoes, Officer Rodriguez says flatly. That's not discipline. That's abuse. The word hangs in the air. Abuse. I've never let myself think that word. I've made excuses. He's grieving. He's stressed. He's doing his best. But standing here in my grandmother's coat, unable to feel my feet, watching my father's face twist with anger instead of concern. The officer looks at me. Miss Sullivan, do you want to go with your grandmother? I look at my father. At Patricia. At Jessica in the doorway wearing my mother's jewelry. Then I look at my grandmother. At the tears running down her face. At the way she's standing between me and them like a wall. Yes, I whisper. Mary, don't you dare, my father starts. Mr. Sullivan. The officer's voice is sharp. Step back. My grandmother takes my hand. Her fingers are warm. Get whatever you need from your room, sweetheart. I'll wait right here. I walk past my father. He doesn't move, but his eyes follow me. Patricia steps aside. Jessica won't look at me. I go down to the basement. My room, if you can call it that. I grab my backpack. I don't have much. Some clothes. My mother's photo album that I hid under the mattress. My school books. I'm back upstairs in 3 minutes. My grandmother is still in the doorway, the lawyer beside her. Is there anything else you need? Catherine asks gently. I look at Jessica. At the necklace. That necklace, I say. It was my mother's. Jessica's hand flies to her throat. She looks at Patricia. Take it off, Catherine says. Not to Jessica. To Patricia. Patricia's mouth opens. Closes. She reaches up and unclasps it from Jessica's neck. She hands it to Catherine without a word. My grandmother places it in my hand. The sapphire is still warm. Let's go home, she says. I walk out the door. Into the snow. Into the night. Into the Mercedes that smells like leather and safety. I don't look back. The Mercedes is warm. The heat is on full blast, blowing hot air that stings my frozen fingers and toes as sensation slowly returns. My grandmother doesn't speak for the first 10 minutes. She just drives, one hand on the wheel, the other reaching over occasionally to touch my shoulder like she needs to make sure I'm real. We pull into a driveway in Harbor Point 40 minutes later. The house is 2 stories, cream-colored with dark shutters and a porch light that makes everything look golden. Nothing like my father's house. Nothing like the basement I've called home for 8 years. This is it, Catherine says softly. This is home. She takes me inside. Shows me the guest room, except she doesn't call it that. This is your room, she says. I've been keeping it ready. It has a real bed with a wooden headframe. A desk with a lamp. Built-in bookshelves along one wall, already filled with books. A window seat with cushions overlooking the backyard. Curtains that aren't basement gray. There's a bathroom right across the hall. Your own bathroom. Clean towels in the cabinet. She pauses. Mary, you don't have to ask permission for anything here. If you're hungry, eat. If you're tired, sleep. This is your home now. I don't cry until she leaves and closes the door gently behind her. Then I sit on the window seat, a real window seat like the one my mother built in my old room, and I sob into my grandmother's coat that I'm still wearing. The next morning, Catherine makes me breakfast. Pancakes and bacon and fresh orange juice. She sits across from me at the kitchen table and doesn't watch me eat. Doesn't comment on how much or how little I take. Just reads the newspaper and sips her coffee like this is normal. Your father was arrested last night, she says eventually, folding the paper. Financial exploitation of a minor. Fraud. Child endangerment. I set down my fork. The police executed a search warrant at 3 a.m. They found the shoebox in the attic. All my letters. He'd been marking them returned to sender but never actually sending them back. She looks at me. Did you know about those? I found them. A few weeks ago. She closes her eyes. 8 years. I sent letters for 8 years. Birthday cards. Christmas presents. I called every number I could find. I hired 3 different lawyers. He blocked everything. Restraining orders based on lies. Claims that I was harassing him. That I was unstable. The money, I say quietly. The $2,000 every month. Part of your mother's will. She set up the trust, but she also wanted me to send monthly support directly to ensure you were cared for. Your father was supposed to provide receipts. Proof the money was being used for you. Her voice hardens. He never provided a single one. Not in 8 years. 3 days later, Patricia files for divorce. My grandmother shows me the court records online. Patricia Sullivan petitions for dissolution of marriage, citing irreconcilable differences and recently discovered financial fraud. She's trying to distance herself, Catherine says. Smart, legally. Morally bankrupt, but smart. A week after that, a package arrives. Small, wrapped in brown paper. My name on the label. No return address. Inside is my mother's necklace, the one I'd already retrieved on Christmas Eve. Except this is different. This is the matching bracelet. And a note in Jessica's handwriting. Mary, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know about the money or the letters or any of it. My mom told me your grandmother was dangerous. That she'd tried to kidnap you when you were little. I believed her. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This bracelet was in my mom's jewelry box. I think it belongs with the necklace. I think it belongs with you. Jessica. I show the note to Catherine. She reads it, then sets it down carefully. Do you believe her? I think about Jessica waving at me through the window. Jessica wearing my clothes when hers were in the wash. Jessica who never once asked why I slept in the basement. I don't know, I say honestly. But at least she said sorry. My father said nothing. No apology. No explanation. Just silence, which I suppose is what he taught me to give him all those years. Catherine gives me the shoebox of letters one afternoon. We're sitting in the living room, her reading a book, me doing homework at the coffee table. I want you to have these, she says. You should know I never stopped trying. I read them all again. 47 letters spanning 8 years. Proof that I was wanted. Proof that someone was fighting. Then she gives me something else. A journal with a blue leather cover, worn at the edges. This was your mother's. I found it in her things after she died. Your father didn't know I had it. I open it with shaking hands. My mother's handwriting fills the pages. Observations about her day. Grocery lists. Garden plans. And entries about me. Mary said her first word today. Mama. I cried like a fool. Mary started kindergarten. She wore the purple dress and carried the lunchbox with butterflies. She's so brave. Mary asked me today if I'll always be here. I told her yes. I hope that's not a lie. The last entry is dated 3 days before she died. I updated my will today. Gregory doesn't understand why I'm leaving everything in trust for Mary with Catherine as trustee. He thinks I don't trust him. But it's not about trust. It's about protection. If anything happens to me, Catherine will fight for Mary in ways Gregory won't. She'll make sure Mary knows she was loved. She'll make sure Mary becomes who she's meant to be. Not small. Not silent. Strong. I read that entry 17 times. Not small. Not silent. Strong. 2 months later, I enroll in a law prep course at the community college. Catherine drives me to the first class and waits in the parking lot even though I tell her she doesn't have to. I've waited 8 years, she says. I can wait an hour. I'm not good at it at first. Speaking up in class. Raising my hand. Taking up space. I've spent so long making myself invisible that visibility feels like wearing clothes that don't fit. But I practice. I sit at my grandmother's dining table and eat dinner while it's still hot. I use my voice when I have an opinion. I say no when I don't want something. I stop apologizing for existing. At night, I wear my mother's necklace and bracelet. I sit in the window seat in my room, my real room with bookshelves and sunlight, and I think about the girl who stood outside in the snow. She's still part of me. The quiet. The careful. The watchful. But she's not all of me anymore. I'm also the girl who survived. Who found the letters. Who walked away. I'm the girl my mother hoped I'd be. Not small. Not silent. Strong.